live look at the closing bell as the Dow leaps 1,000 points and the S&P rallied 3%. The Nasdaq rallied 4.1%. Stocks shot up after news tariffs between the United States and China will be slashed for the next 90 days. The United States and China have called a truce on their trade war, rolling back recent tariff hikes. The two countries plan to have more talks to resolve trade disputes. The 90-day pause allows both countries more time to reach a deal that works for both parties. The U.S. Treasury Secretary and U.S. Trade Representative made the announcement in Geneva, Switzerland. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt reacted to the news during an interview on Fox and Friends this morning.
This is an extraordinary first step in the right direction, and thanks to the strength of President Trump, Secretary Bessent and Ambassador Greer were able to cut this initial deal with China. China agreed to reduce their tariffs on the United States by 115%.
The White House says China has also agreed to discuss opening Chinese markets to American-made products and goods. Today, President Trump signed an executive order directing the Health and Human Services Department to set prescription drug prices to match the lowest offered by other countries. The new policy will likely only cover some Medicare drugs, such as cancer infusions, along with weight loss medications like Ozempic. The administration says it could bring massive savings to Americans.
Starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries. For the first time in many years, we'll slash the cost of prescription drugs, and we will bring fairness to America. Drug prices will come down by much more.
The move is expected to bring intense pushback from the pharmaceutical industry, which argues any loss in profit will slow down research and innovation and force an increased reliance on China. Pope Leo XIV got a look at his potential new home this morning. The seals were removed from the Apostolic Palace. This marks the first time it was open since Pope Francis's death last month. While the seals have been removed, it is still unclear if Pope Leo plans to move into the apartment within the Apostolic Palace. The new pope also met with the press for the first time. He called for the release of imprisoned journalists and affirmed the precious gift of freedom of speech and the press. All right, Dana, thanks so much. Family Dollar joins Uber Eats. A cat is rescued from a storm drain, and an alligator with a chair stuck on its head. Director Courtney Bryant joins us from the set here with stories across America.
Yeah, hey, Christine, we'll get to that. But we'll start in California, where a young spider monkey is getting the attention she needs at the Oakland Zoo. Violetta was surrendered to the zoo following a drug bust by the Solano County Sheriff's Department. The zoo believes Violetta is about 18 months old. They're now performing physical exams to ensure her health. They say so far she appears in good condition. Zoo officials will work with the state and wildlife confiscation network to find her a new home at another zoo or sanctuary. Oh my goodness, look, the tiny kitty was rescued from the storm drain. This happened in Arizona. A business owner called the fire department after hearing meows. The kitten was spotted more than 30 feet down the drain, but fire crews were able to get him out. This all happened on Friday, and it turns out the kitten has already been adopted. He now goes by the name Riley. All right, here it is. A gator with a chair stuck on its head caught knocking on a neighbor's door in Florida. Lee County Sheriff's Office says they got a call about a gator knocking on doors and peeping into windows of homes. Deputies responded and found the gator sitting on a porch with a red lawn chair stuck on its head. A professional was called in and was able to remove the gator from outside the house. Family Dollar is joining Uber Eats. The chain is making the move as it prepares for a major transition in ownership and widespread store closures. Uber says Family Dollar is being added to its Uber Eats platform, expanding the delivery app's growing portfolio of retail partners that allow customers to order groceries and household items directly to their doors. Dollar Tree is selling the Family Dollar brand for $1 billion.
All right, Courtney, thanks so much.
Yeah.
We want more balanced trade, and I think that both sides are committed to achieving that. We would like to see China open to more U.S. goods.
Markets soared today as the U.S. and China both agreed to reduce the enormous tariffs on each other for a period of 3 months. The U.S. agreed to drop the 145% tax on Chinese imports to 30%, and China dropped its tariffs went from 125 to 10%. Administration officials say they'll use the pause to rebalance their trade deals, but if an agreement isn't reached, the higher tariffs will return in mid-August. The tariff news helped the market jump more than 1,000 points in total, but that was just one of today's big announcements. President Trump also signed an executive order aimed at lowering the cost of prescription drugs.
In the hours since pharmaceutical companies are now pushing back, Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen explains.
Saying Americans have been getting ripped off for too long, President Trump is aiming to lower drug costs with his latest executive order.
Starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries.
The order directs the government to tie what Medicare pays for drugs to the lowest price paid by other countries.
For the first time in many years, we'll slash the cost of prescription drugs, and we will bring fairness to America. Drug prices will come down by much more.
The new policy will likely only cover some Medicare drugs, such as cancer infusions, along with weight loss medications like Ozempic. But the administration says it could deliver massive savings.
The United States of America is less than 5% of the world's population, yet we purchase 75% of Big Pharma's profits.
The move is expected to bring intense pushback from the pharmaceutical industry, which argues any loss in profit will slow down research and innovation and force an increased reliance on China.
We then need to work with our partners outside the United States, governments around the world, to make sure they pay their fair share of what is the cost of these medicines, to make sure that they understand and reward us for the value our innovation creates.
President Trump also tried to lower drug prices with an executive order at the end of his first term, but that attempt was eventually blocked in the courts. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
People in Pakistan celebrated as the country's leaders reached a ceasefire deal with India. The U.S. mediated the truce after the White House reportedly received alarming intelligence about the conflict and got involved. Both countries have nuclear weapons. Developing overseas, Hamas has now released the last living American hostage in Gaza, Idan Alexander, who is also an Israeli soldier.
Alexander got a hero's welcome after being held captive since the October 7th attacks. Tonight, he's finally free and undergoing medical evaluation. The U.S. and Israeli officials are both celebrating Alexander's release as a big win. Hamas claims they released him to show, quote, flexibility, but others suspect there is a political calculation, with some guessing the terror group is trying to get the U.S. to designate it in Gaza.
Hamas is trying to peel the United States out of having anything to do with this conflict. So the United States is still going to have to stay involved.
While Alexander was the last living American hostage to be freed, Hamas still has the remains of 4 others, plus 20 Israeli captives. Negotiations are now underway to free them all. While fresh off his first Sunday blessing at the Vatican, Pope Leo XIV meeting with the media in Rome this morning.
Fox's Kennedy Hayes is live in Pope Leo's hometown of Chicago with the latest. And Kennedy, it sounds like the Pope flashed a little bit of humor earlier today.
Tom and Courtney, that's right. Pope Leo opened his first news conference with a quick joke in English before switching to Italian.
Buongiorno. Good morning, and thank you for this wonderful reception. They say when they clap at the beginning, it doesn't matter much. If you're still awake at the end and you still want to applaud, thank you very much.
Speaking to about 1,000 journalists, the new pope called free speech and free press a, quote, precious gift. The 69-year-old called for the release of journalists imprisoned around the world, saying they shouldn't be jailed for reporting the truth. Pope Leo also urging the media to use artificial intelligence responsibly, saying it should, quote, benefit all of humanity. And meanwhile, back home, people keep coming to Dalton, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, to get a look at where it all began. This is Pope Leo XIV Queen's childhood home. The 1,200 square foot house was just listed for more than $200,000 in January, according to Zillow, but the listing was quickly taken down after the Pope's election as offers started pouring in. Now Dalton's mayor says he's open to making it into a historic site with visitors coming from near and far.
Well, just hearing more and more about like where the neighborhood, it's like, well, I mean, we're like 25 minutes away. Really? Let's come see where his roots are.
You know, Leo's a man of the world, as is Chicago is a home to so many people. On this street here, we've talked to Filipinos and Polish and African, and it's happening all right here, and that's what Chicago has always been.
And this morning, one reporter asked the Pope if he has any plans of coming back to his hometown here in Chicago anytime soon. His answer was, quote, not soon. In Chicago, Kennedy Hayes, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, nice to see him showing some humor there in his first big interaction with the press from around the world. Kennedy, thanks. Well, President Trump is headed overseas on the first major foreign trip of his second term. He will take a 4-day tour of the Middle East. The trip comes just a day after the announcement that Qatar is gifting the Department of Defense a $400 million luxury Boeing 747. Which is to be used as Air Force One. Critics are concerned about the acceptance of such a gift, but the White House insists the unprecedented arrangement is both legal and without an expectation of anything in return. The jet will eventually be donated to President Trump's presidential library when he leaves office. Getting behind the wheel is about to get a little more expensive. Tariffs could raise the price of car insurance by nearly 10% this year.
Fox's Sunny Sai is live in Las Vegas. And Sunny, why exactly are these tariffs increasing insurance prices?
Tom, Courtney, quite frankly, it's a result of the snowball effect of the 25% tariffs from imported cars and imported car parts. If parts are more expensive and take longer to import, then it's going to cost more money and time to repair the cars. Nevada has some of the highest auto insurance rates in the country, and this isn't news drivers or body shops want to hear.
We can only do so much in order to survive because we still have overhead and bills and things that we have to pay.
Eric Randolph is the co-owner of Izzy's Auto. His shop has been dealing with the side effects of the tariffs firsthand.
There's been a lot of raises in the pricing, which causes us to have to raise the prices for our clients.
The higher prices are a result of a trickle-down effect from the original supplier.
You have the actual supplier, then the supplier goes to the vendor, then the vendor sells to the different shops and customers, so then their prices are raised, and then when it reaches the consumer, by the time it's that, it's about 100 to maybe 110% markup just for the stores, the small businesses to make a profit.
Not only are prices higher for foreign car parts, but there's also a slowdown in the supply chain.
That vehicle that we're working on, we were supposed to have the part within 2 to 3 days. We're at a 4-week holdup right now.
Increasing car parts prices goes hand in hand with your insurance bill.
When you get into an accident, your insurer often has to pay to replace the auto part. And if auto parts are more expensive because it comes from out of the country, then those costs often get passed on to consumers.
And those higher prices could affect what people are driving.
More people cannot afford to pretty much go out and buy a car, so they have to depend on rental services.
Even though DeAndre Johnson's car rental company is also dealing with long waits and higher prices, the shop has actually seen a demand in business.
It caused us to have more customers. It also drove, like I said, it drove our business evaluation up, so our business is automatically worth more now because car prices are up.
Insurance experts say insurance companies can't raise rates overnight, and most customers won't see changes in their bills until at the end of the year at the earliest. In Las Vegas, Sunny Sai, Fox 5 News.
And friends of Israeli-American hostage Idan Alexander gathered in Tel Aviv ahead of his release today. Hamas said it would free Alexander as a goodwill gesture. Alexander was serving in the Israeli military near the Gaza border when he was captured during the October 7th attack. Alexander's adoptive father says he was at first shocked by the news of his release, but is now thankful for the work done to free his son. He adds we need to get the other 58 hostages returned to their families.
We ate around, I think, 7, 8 o'clock, and we didn't know nothing. Then suddenly we got the news and we saw the internet, and we was shocked. We was shocked that it was the best news that we had for 584 days. It's amazing. And this is a new day. This is a new day.
Alexander's expected release would be the first since Israel shattered an 8-week ceasefire with Hamas in March.
A new TikTok trend circulating in schools across the U.S. involving students intentionally damaging devices for views. The new craze, called Chromebook Challenge, instructs students to stick metal objects into the USB port of a Chromebook laptop with hopes of it catching on fire. Some school districts have sent out warnings of full disciplinary actions to anybody who participates in the trend. One firefighter says students who take part in the challenge risk damaging their health.
It's the smoke initially that is most harming. The smoke is letting off hundreds of different chemicals and heavy metals.
A fun prank could end up costing you and your family a lot of money, and depending on the school district's policy, could end up with criminal charges such as destruction of school property.
The challenge can prove costly, as Chromebooks can cost anywhere from $300 to $600.